Hey everybody, welcome in. This is Will Myers with Myers Impact and Myers Massage and Bodywork, and today I want to take you through a step-by-step of my 6-week program. Now, the 6-week transformation program is specifically designed to develop your foundation and make sure that you are solid so that when we then progress into the upcoming months and the years down the road, we actually have an ability to progress. That's the goal. We want to actually track your progression. The best way that we can make sure that you're progressing safely and properly is to make sure that your foundation is strong. So what do we do in these first 6 weeks? The main thing is we want to build that platform for you to grow. So the very first step is it's you. You have to make the decision to actually want this transformation. And not really just want this transformation, you have to need it, because it's not going to work otherwise. If it was just off of wanting it, you'd already be there. You wouldn't be watching this video. And if you're watching this video and you can think of a friend who might need that little push, right, to help them make this thing happen, this could be the opportunity for you to not only expose some information to them, but join into a part of their mission. Whether it's your mission or a loved one's mission, we got to make sure that the foundation is built strong and built right. So first things first, you have to make that decision. Okay? Once you've made the decision to grow, then you need to have a plan. Okay? The decision is very specific and very necessary, but then if we don't have a plan, we don't know how we're going to get there. And then where are we going? We need to set a goal. So the decision is your part. Then I come in and I help you craft your goal to what makes sense. Okay? I always believe in setting high expectations because it's going to make you reach and really going to make you grow. If we set the bar too low, it's going to be way too easily accomplished. We need to make sure that we are challenging the mind and challenging the body. So from this step from you, the next step is you need to find an architect. That's where I come in. As an architect, it's my job to build the blueprint. So you make the decision, and then you become a part of the Myers Impact team. Now, we've had so many transformations amongst the Myers Impact team, even my own transformation. So not only has these tested and tried, not only have we really made our way through these techniques, I've been able to make it into the most simplistic form possible so that I can not only get it to any tablet or any type of devices you can get a hold of, we can make it so simply understood that you don't even need to refer back to the notes every day. We want to turn this into a part of your lifestyle so that it's a little bit easier for you to literally fully change and commit. Okay, I can't use the word easy there, but I will say simple, because this process is not an easy process. It is going to take some sacrifice. It is going to take some dedication. Once we figure out the equation, though, duplication and replication of that is simple. So you're now part of the Myers Impact team, and I really want to focus on 5 main categories when it comes to building your foundation. The very first thing is I want you to understand how I think and my philosophy towards this whole entire thing of transforming the body, whether it be weight loss or whether it be muscle gain or whether it be maintenance or whether it be a completely different option or goal. The main thing is we got to get the mind working first. So the very first thing is I want you to understand my philosophy. The philosophy of muscle development, weight loss, building the body, making the body stronger, creating your foundation, as well as keeping the mind strong. We're going to break that down a little bit more in a little bit. Next, we're going to really focus on your nutrition. This part, unfortunately, is left out by so many people, and I can tell you that majority of your results will come from how good or bad your nutrition is. Next, we want to understand how important is cardiovascular exercise. Unfortunately, this one alone as well. If we can't get either of these two, this one a lot of times trips people up as well because we don't understand how cardiovascular work can be beneficial to the system. Next one we're going to focus on is strength, because of course, in order for us to build the body, we do need to preload the body with weight, whether it be your own body weight or an external force, but we do want to build that strength. And then last but not least, certainly not least, is release. Okay? All of these categories are extremely important in building your foundation, the very beginning level of the pyramid, making sure that the bottom of your skyscraper is so strong that when any type of wind gusts blow by the top, there's nothing happening at all. The structure is extremely solid. So we build from the ground up. Let's start with philosophy. The main thing I want you to understand with philosophy is we need to change from a consumption mindset to a growth mindset. So the first thing really in this area here is we need to develop growth mentality. Now, growth mentality can come from the books that you're reading. It can come from the circle that you're around. So those are two really important categories that we want to help understand, that when you're trying to learn how to grow for yourself, those changes need to happen internally. And the way that those changes are going to happen are going to be specifically, one, by your circle of influence, and two, by the books that you read. So what we want to do is from here, make sure that that circle of influence is an upward mobile group, or a group that wants the best for you. Automatically, joining onto the team, we surround you with people who not only are in the fight with you, but those who have already climbed the mountain. And not only do you then have a coach as well to be able to say, I've climbed this mountain, I've helped others climb this mountain, now let's make sure that you got the right shoes first. Let's make sure you got the right gloves. Let's make sure you got the right pole. Everything that you need before we even start the journey. So the first thing first is making sure you have the right people around you to help you grow. Next, as we mentioned, the books that you read. Books and reading, so very important. Some of the most incredible changes happen internally in the mind when you're reading to yourself. Now, sometimes reading is a little bit difficult to keep attention, so there's audiobooks available. There's also videos available, but there's something that we can get to you so that you can change the information that's going into the mind. A lot of times our music and media can alter your emotions based on what was said. So just off of that strength alone, imagine if we could use that same power, but use it for good, for benefiting, for propelling you into the future and making sure that you're successful. So your circle of people around you, who you're getting your information from, and the books you're reading are so incredibly important. If you're going to follow somebody, make sure they are in life where you want to be. If it's physical, spiritual, relational, social, any of those categories, whatever it is you specifically are looking for help in, make sure that your source of information is exactly where you want to be. If not, check the credibility, and don't be afraid of looking for alternative sources and getting as many different coaches' opinions as you can. Number 2, nutrition. A couple things here with nutrition. Because we said it's so important, we've really got to lock this down. And it is difficult. It is a huge entire umbrella of things, but we can really break it down into a couple simple parts. First, we need to understand that food is fuel. Okay? Food is fuel. I know a lot of us really eat food for enjoyment, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're on a goal, if you're on a mission, if you're trying to transform your life, some things need to change. Not to say that you can't enjoy your meals, but we do need to understand that food is fuel. So I want you to become very understanding of how we use something called macronutrients. And a very basic understanding of that, you've got your protein to help you build the muscle as your building blocks. You've got your carbohydrates to help you fuel and provide energy source. And you have your fats, not only to provide help with insulation, but also protection of the joints. So we do need to make sure we have those there. And I always throw in understanding fiber, because fiber is going to help you get everything out. So those macronutrients, plus understanding how we use them, how many times we should be eating a day, what we should be putting on the plate, what are the good fats versus bad fats, what are the good carbs versus good carbs, what are the lean proteins versus fatty proteins, all that simple stuff we can break down. It's not easy, but again, it's simple. All we got to do is make sure that you understand it, and whatever you're struggling with, we take a moment and really lock that in. Because if I don't have you with these two categories, the mindset and the nutrition, we can't move forward. After we understand that food is fuel, what do you think the next most important is? And maybe even more important than the food is water. So now we want to understand water. I want to teach you about water retention, but then I also want to teach you why water is so important for the system. And if you're lacking water and you're in any type of dehydrated state, it's going to be difficult for you to lose weight, and it's going to be difficult for you to gain muscle. So start with the water and make sure that your body is as hydrated as possible. We all know so many benefits that water can bring, and I guarantee you in this transformation, it's going to be extremely important. After we have here, understanding food is fuel, understanding water, the other most important part of your nutrition is understanding your metabolism. So I start by making sure that you understand your food. Once we understand your food and what those food options do for the body, then it's time to understand to your specific system, what do we need to eat, when do we need to eat, and how do we need to perform. That comes down to your metabolism. If you've ever heard of anything called the BMR, BMR is your basal metabolic rate. This is the base amount of calories that you're going to burn in any given day when you're in a steady state, when you're not doing anything excess. So that's literally a resting rate, the resting amount of calories that you're going to burn in a day. I want to help you not only figure out how to get that number, but then understand how to use that number and build your entire nutrition program, which will help us understand your meal plan. Meal plan and meal prep. It's difficult, but it is so important. Not everybody wants to have to figure out how to cook each meal. So sometimes what you got to do is have it all prepared for you and have it ready to go. Okay, now that we've figured out philosophy, now that we've figured out the mind, now that we've figured out your fuel source and making sure that your body's hydrated, we can now start talking about the movement of the body that's going to help us create that transformation. Cardiovascular strength, it's very important for you to understand the relationship between the heart and the lungs. If that relationship is not strong, you're going to see lacking in areas of strength development, you're going to see it in lacking of endurance, and you're going to see it in lack of power. Those main categories are going to be directly impacted if your heart and lungs do not have a good relationship. So let's break down what cardio is. First, I know you've seen the people in the gym who've been in there for years only doing cardio, and you haven't seen anything. It's almost as if you may as well be outside enjoying the weather. We are in the gym. If you're in the gym, if you're out there making it happen, you want to see some results. How else is it going to stay motivating? Nobody wants to stay on that plateau and maintain. Some people will say they're happy there, but most of us aren't. So if you're not happy there, let's understand where cardio should be used and how it should be used. So I'm going to teach you how to understand the difference between fasted cardio and cardio before your workout and cardio post-workout. Let's understand endurance training, and let's understand how to make that heart and lung as extremely strong as possible. So again, through cardio, we want to understand, of course, how the heart and lungs work. Not only once you understand that, we can understand how to implement those strategies into your program. Many times we'll see that in the form of fasted cardio. And what's fasted cardio? That's just cardio that you're doing before you actually put any type of fuel source into the system that day. That means you're going to be using fuel that was left over from the previous day. And the cool thing is, when it comes to losing weight or building muscle or any of that stuff, it doesn't happen in the actual moment. It happens throughout the rest of the day and while you're sleeping, which is why this is important, but then also that metabolism is going to help us understand and help make this either make or break this. Okay, so we still need to have this first. Number 4, we're going to get into your strength training. With strength training, I look at it as 3 specific pillars. The 3 pillars of strength training in my program, and they're not in any specific order because every single person is different. But we need to build the muscle through strength. We need to stretch the muscle through flexibility. And we need to release the muscle through some form of manual therapy work. You may actually be getting work from a massage therapist. Of course, like myself, me being a licensed massage therapist for so many years, it is very important for me to make sure that people understand the release side of things. If you can't get to a massage therapist, and that's where the foam rollers and therapy balls and tennis balls and massage roller stick, all that stuff comes in. I have a completely detailed program on not only how to use all that stuff, but when to use it and how to substitute if you don't have your tool for the day. But these things are available everywhere, so let's make sure that not only are you getting a massage once a month, but after every workout and before every workout, you start to understand, what do I need to do to open up certain muscles and to energize others? Everybody's different in that category and which ones you got to do. However, we can figure out exactly what it is for you. So again, my 3 pillars: we need to build the muscle, we need to stretch the muscle, and then we need to release the muscle. After we've understood the 3 pillars, I'm going to show you exactly how to break that down in a week's time. Whether it be a week, let's say you're working out 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, I'll show you exactly how to put it into your schedule. Because remember, this first 6 weeks, we're literally trying to change your entire system. So we got to change your habits. We got to change your priorities. And then it's going to come down to making sure we got to change how well you understand what's going on inside of your body. Just because you're sore after a workout, that's not necessarily a good thing. So let's understand where that soreness is coming from. Okay? After we go over those 3 pillars, we want to understand that there are 4 primary focuses when it comes to your strength training that we're going to start you out with. Okay, so 4 of our courses here. The first course I want you to understand is going to be upper body. Now, upper body can be broken down into 2 main parts when we're starting out. Your first one is going to be your upper body push day. Your second one is going to be upper body pull. So we'll say upper pull. Now, just alone by doing a push day and a pull day, I've given you the opportunity to learn how to use your triceps, shoulders, and chest on a push day, as well as your biceps, back of your shoulders, and lats on a pull day. If you've never heard those before, I'm going to make sure they're very familiar. But if you had heard them before, you may understand where I'm coming from when saying we initially start by training all of them together. Could we do some isolated movements for those muscle groups? Of course. But remember, this is the foundation. We're trying to build that brain and muscle connection. We call that neuromuscular facilitation. So literally, I'm trying to teach your brain multiple ways, but most importantly, how to specifically communicate with your muscles and do exactly what you're looking for them to do, whether it be through balance, strength, or flexibility. Okay? Number 3, we have lower. And 4, we have lower. The first lower body day, I'm going to be focused on a quadricep focused day. Now that may not make sense yet, but when we think about the legs, we've got the quadriceps in front, and then we've got the hamstrings in the back. So we can actually craft lower body leg days that are more quadricep dominant focused on one day and more hamstring dominant focused on another. Now, in the future, this could get even more complicated for you, depending on how fun you want to make it. But in the very beginning, we're just going to think about the difference of a quadricep dominant leg day and a hamstring dominant leg day. So lower quads and lower hamstrings. Okay. Now, where does core fit in? Everybody wants to understand where core fits in. On leg days, core is really supposed to be used in every single movement that you do. So I have a very specific workout for the leg days, which will just specifically stimulate different parts of your core to make sure that they are activated while you're doing your exercise. So I call these 2 core 3 and core 4. Now, the first 2, push and pull, it's very important in my program that when you're doing core workouts on a push day, we're using muscles that are going to be, that we're basically warming up the muscles we're going to use in a little bit. And on a pull day, I'm also using specific muscles in that core exercise moment, muscles that I'm going to be using later on in the day. Does that make sense? So it's still core, they're just different exercises with different primary muscles. So for push, we've got core 1, and for pull, we've got core 2. So just off of the jump, once you get started in here, we give you 4 specific workouts. Now, these are tailored to you. These are tailored to the beginner. We want to make sure that these are exercises and movements that not only make sense, but are actually able to duplicate. Not necessarily easy, but again, simple. I want to make sure that you have all the instructions and steps so that you can make your way right on through it. Okay? 4 steps here in our strength category to make sure we understand this. Now, this starts you off, but there are so many more opportunities for you to be able to get more workouts, join into groups and individual sessions as well. That just comes down later on the line. Remember, we're just building that foundation. The last category here is release. As a massage therapist, for all this time, this has been one of the most important parts of the whole entire system because I started here. I needed to learn not only this information, but also how to convey this information. I needed to learn how to teach it in a way that made sense because the textbook was tough, but nobody that I met with wanted to hear me reading from the textbook. So they needed to know that not only did I understand this information, but I understood it so well that I can teach it to anybody. If you can teach this stuff to a 4-year-old, then you know you're on your game. And so my goal has always been trying to make sure that while this is difficult and is not in our just normal education system, this is tough, but I want to try to make it simple. Now, to release, my favorite category, the two categories that would be in here, the 2 subdivisions, we want to think about the first one, which is self-myofascial release. Now, self-myofascial release is basically self-massage. I'm going to be using tools and techniques from, like we said, the massage roller. I actually happen to have, you got your foam roller here, if you have seen these before. Really good for working through the back and legs. We also have some of our lacrosse ball or therapy ball, as well as one of those larger therapy balls to be able to get to the larger muscles. Now, all of these things have different surface areas, meaning that they're used for different muscles and different purposes. So that's what I really want to teach you. Because not only are you going to get sore from a workout, but you don't have to sit in that soreness for 2-3 days. You can actually do something about it. So the first one under release is self-myofascial release. So we'll just put self-myo. Okay? Many techniques there. I've got some pre-recorded videos to get you started, but then again, there will be live classes and live webinars where you can jump on and get the freshest information possible. And then the second category in release is basic flexibility and stretching. Oh yes, I know there's a lot of people watching this video who hate seeing me write the word stretch or flexibility, or you get that text message from me, did you stretch those hamstrings today? I know a couple of you, I hit that home with that one. But the goal here is not only are we focused on all this, but we're making sure that we still are stretching and opening up those muscles. There's truly something different about a body that has all the water it needs, has the fuel it needs, is getting tested on a strength level on a regular basis, is building a strong cardiovascular base, and then is also focused on the flexibility and release. It's difficult to find. However, there are testimonials that you'll find on this page and in my program that will contest to it and will tell you 100% how it made a huge difference in their life and gave them the stability and opportunity to do so much more. If you're thinking about this in any way for you, this could be your message, this could be your moment, but you may also have a couple more questions. That's completely fine. Take a moment, check this video out again, but more importantly, let's jump on a call. When we jump on a call, we can start to get truly custom. We can start to figure out what it is that you're looking for, and if this will even work for you in the first place. And my goal is truly to find out, if you dove into this program, what would success look like to you? Is that losing a certain amount of weight? Is that gaining a certain amount of muscle? Is that hitting a new PR? Is that getting up off of the floor without having a problem? Is that going up and down the steps without having to think of the pain? Is that going out to eat without feeling guilty that you're having something you shouldn't be having? A lot of these categories, a lot of these areas, you may fit into all of these or one of them, or you may have another one for me to hear. But I do believe that there is a need for a transformation. I do believe that you made it this far in the video because you see that there's something available for you. Do you need to hold on to this forever? No. I would actually rather you build your foundation and then start moving into new advanced programs. My most exciting part, I love when someone says to me, I'm ready to move forward. You know what I do? I get right back to the drawing board. I write out a new 6-week, new 8-week, new 12-week program, and we get to work. The coolest thing is to start to see somebody recognizing their own results. There's something to be proud about there. Because yes, a coach helped you. Yes, you had to go to the architect. Yes, you had to get the blueprint, invest in the blueprint. However, all of this is specifically making sure that you can be the best you that you can be. Giving you the best opportunity to put that foot forward and open up that opportunity door. The last thing you want is to have the opportunity of a lifetime, whatever it is for you, and you not be mentally or physically able to tackle that at your best ability possible. This could be that wake-up call. This could be the jump start to help you changing your life and ultimately opening up so many opportunities for you that could be there. I could talk about this forever because I love motivating people, but I think what really needs to happen is that we jump on a call. Because then I can talk to you specifically, hear your goals, hear your hurdles, and start talking about how we can start clearing that path and getting you to your goals. Again, here's the blueprint. It's difficult. It's not easy, but it's simple. Will Myers with Myers Impact, and I'd love to hear from you soon. Thanks.